In double honor to the elder great millstone, and salutations to y'all on how the body is being to marriage. I want to start off with Psalms 137 and 8. But I think I want to get into some of the reasons and why America's gonna be destroyed too. Besides just saying it, we can get to the middle, we can get to the ending, but why get to the end of the book when you haven't got to the started the beginning? So like I want to like give some reasons too in this video I'm making on why America's gonna be destroyed. But I'm going to start off with Psalm 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. How did America serve, the Native Americans or Jake? And, and not only back then, but up to this point too, we just got to look at the record, Look at what Esau been doing. What's crazy is that Esau, when he gave reparations, he hasn't cared since now. It tells you in their heart they don't like you. 16,000. I'm gonna get it. See, look, why not and why not now? Esau wants to give reparations. It's called genocide. Esau is. Esau, that's all Esau. That's all Esau does. Look, just a shitty apology, just an apology, nothing else. I'm sorry. Look, that's all he says. Like, they're gonna name the land. Yeah, but California has dark history. America, the entire country has dark history. Because of Esau. It's called genocide, but that's the interest. It's funny because that's the only thing they mention is genocide. But all Esau does is apologize. He doesn't want to do nothing more than that. So America was destroyed by what he did to the Native Americans. And what he did to the northern tribe and the southern tribe. This is all stolen land. Native Americans want more than California's. Hold up. Esau's a demon. Yeah, look. This is all the native stolen land. Native Americans want more than the California's apology. That's all he talk. That's all Esau does. Oh, I'm sorry. But he doesn't make up for it. America's gonna be destroyed for its wickedness. For what Esau did. Hold on. We're roughly paraphrasing. Well, that oh, still is a man. Salaki, he that stilleth a man. And he that stilleth a man and selleth him, or if he found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Ain't that what Esau did? He went across the world and stole people. And he rounded up Judah, Levi, across the globe. You went across the, like, you know, it wasn't even in the same country. It wasn't even the same continent. In the same country. Esau actually just, like, I guess he just had this feeling that just went over there and took Jake. You know, that's the hand of the Lord right there. You know, we had to pay for our past lives. You know, but you know, the Lord actually guided him just to take Jake only, though. Imagine that. It was no other people that he took. No, Ham didn't get taken because you could tell, you would have known. You know, Jake in the movie industry and the music industry, Ham can't do that. No, they can't do that. The receded, you can tell the difference. They look different, you know. You know, you got Ham got them walnut milk dud heads, you know, and Jake don't have that, you know. You know, that's, they got them receded hairlines. So you could tell when you see Ham and you see Jake, you know, and how what they do and how they react, you know. So, you know, he went across the world and stole Jake and owned Jake only. He proved that we are the Lord's chosen people, you know. But that's, wait, hold up. I'm gonna get into the harshment of slavery. Slavery in the United States was the legal institution of human chattel enslavement, primarily of the African American that existed in the United States of the 18th and 19th century. Who started slavery? Were brought to an English colony of Jamestown, Virginia. Historians decided that if the legal practice of slavery began there, since at least some of them had the status of indentured servant. Slaves were punished by whipping, shackles, hanging, beating, burning, mutilation, branding, rape, imprisonment. Punishment was often meted out in response to disobedience or perceived infractions, but sometimes abuse was performed to reassert the dominance of the master or overseer over the slave. So Esau did all of that. No easy answer on reparations. Esau doesn't even want to give reparations. He just wants to talk about it. Esau's a joke. Look at him. No easy answers on reparations. You know, Esau just don't. Esau doesn't care. He has to. It's not easy. He said, yeah, you know, but it's easy to talk about it. Easy to apologize though, cause Esau, he don't care. You know, he act like he does, but you know, in his heart he just. You know, I'm gonna get a scripture on that. Wait, I want to get into Wikipedia. I'm gonna get this for. Hold up. KJV. So America's gonna be destroyed. Not only it's by his wickedness, but you know, since it's upcoming, you know what it did to them. It started off with the Native Americans, you know. Christopher Columbus didn't come over here. When the British came over here, you know. And he started killing them, you know. The words of his mouth were smooth if it didn't butter, but war was in his heart. You know, what Esau is. And watched that movie. You watched that, you know, great movie to show this is 12 Years of Slavery. You have Jake. He was just laying in bed because the Edomites invited him in this hotel, and they were all smiling and talking. They were eating before that, and you know he had he had a nice job and everything by Esau. You know, after he woke up out of that bed, he was in shackles, he was in chains, he was in a cage. He kept, you know, they played him. And they sold him to slavery. They sold him into slavery. His word was softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords. So you can't trust him. His word was softer than oil, and his word was smooth as butter. You know. And his sword was his blessing was the sword too. You know. Going to Genesis, but you know, you can't trust Esau. I want to go into this to the slavery. If you know, Esau's gonna cover up something. There was experiments done on Jake too. I had to look at that up on YouTube. You know, I didn't know, and not nowhere in this Google it told me about they do that. You know, it's crazy. I just, wait, let me see where I want to start. Worked mainly in tobacco, rice, and indigo plantation of the southern coast from Chesapeake Bay colonies of Maryland and Virginia south to Georgia. Began to link oppression of black slaves to their own oppression by the British and called for slavery abolition. No, no, hold up. I want to see if I can get. Look at the scripture. Busy. I'm busy, and you're not. Charger. Oh my gosh. What's up? Oh my gosh. 18-7. Salaki on that walked into my room. I think it was Revelation 18-7. I'm gonna 18-7. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow will give her, for she saith in her heart, I said a queen, I am no widow and shall see no sorrow. So you know, this is how America. If you talk to any Edomite American, this is how they feel. They think that nothing happened to them. They feel like they got the strongest military. They know you can't deny America does have a strong military, but if there's a combination of, if you have partnership against one enemy, you're gonna actually win against that person. You know, and you can't do nothing about it. America, you know, Russia got a strong military, so does China, Iran, you know, and if they put themselves in an alliance with each other, of course, America's gonna be overthrown. You know, and you know if you see this right now, if I get, I'm gonna get and you know, America starting trade with, you know, with China. So all America does is fuck with people. That's all good. Just that annoying, you know, just that annoying person, you know. It's like, oh man, a mosquito, a fly that needs to be swatted, that always buzzing. And Iran said U.S. is feeling tensions in America. That's all America does is start problems with people. That's all it does. That's all it's good for. You know, want to get up. gonna get I want you to get Jeremiah chapter. I'm gonna get Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out the midst of Babylon, and deliver man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So the Lord don't be cut off in her iniquity. Try to resist this place as much as you can, because this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. Wait, is this? Oh no, I'm not even done with that. 51:6. Oh, okay, I just messed up. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. They have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So right here, it tells you that the nations are drunk. Everybody's tired of America. Drunken of her philosophy, her ideas, her plans for the future of their nation, and it got in them nowhere. Everybody's tired of it. Not only that, is that America is always lying. America is starting wars with other countries. I'm gonna read this. Starting sabotaging again. Back at it. It was just in Venezuela. America was just in Venezuela starting problems. Now it's in Iran starting. So wherever America goes, there's always something. They may not right away start a war, but they're always gonna sabotage something. If you don't want to deal with them, they're gonna mess with you. They just can't leave you alone. Iran president has accused the United States of feeling tensions in an already volatile region as the crisis between the two countries escalates. The official RNA news agency quoted Sunday Hassan as saying the intervention military president of the U.S. is responsible for the Middle East problem. These countries know America is the problem, and it said Middle East. The whole Middle East has problems because of America, United States, and I believe him. When he quotes that, when he brings this out. Rouhani also denounced what Iran alleged incursion of its airspace by the U.S. military drone, which Tesla shot down on Thursday. We expect international bodies to show proper reaction to an invasion move. His remarks came during a meeting with the president of IPU, or Inter-Parliamentary Union, Gabriel Kovac. The U.S. says the drone was flying above international waters near the Persian Gulf. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton says that Iran should not mistake U.S. prudence as discretion for weakness. Speaking alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem Sunday, both said no one has granted Iran a hunting license in the United States. The comments come days after President Donald Trump announced he called off military strikes on Iran after learning approximately 150 Iranians would be killed, saying it would have been out of proportion to shooting down an American surveillance drone by Iran. It would have been out of proportion, shooting down of an unmanned American surveillance drone. So Esau acting like he cares about these people. Esau, if you actually You went and you stabbed 9/11 just so you can invade a country for their resources. You don't care. They're gonna add the 150. Oh, there was 150 Irans. But yeah, everybody died in 2009. That was like in the millions, or I mean, well, not really, no, but in the thousands. Now they're gonna add that 150 Iranian part. It seems like they give it in, but you know, Esau don't care. Esau don't care. He'll kill his own kids. He lost $1,000 from his bank account. Esau don't care. Esau was like, it was like gonna kill Sarah, Todd, and Andy, and Aiden. Kill them all because he just and his own wife, Barbara, and himself. You know, he just he'll kill everybody if he, Esau's weak. You know, so when he adds in a number that why he won't kill him, that's not the case. That's probably a different reason. Bolton, a long-time Iran hawk, says sanctions will continue on. The U.S. reserved the right to attack is at a later point. He emphasized that Trump had only stopped going forward at this time. Donald Trump knows Iran is dealing with China. Not China. I don't think it. I'll see right now. I don't think he's dealing with China. With China. Look, Esau is scared of the nuclear missiles. Iran challenges Europe to stand to. Look at this. Hold up. Let me get Jeremiah from my scriptures, the Bible. Jeremiah 51:7 has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her pain take balm for her, if she for pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Take her, everyone, into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and up even to the skies. So right here, America thinks he's gonna get away with this. America thinks he's gonna get away. What else about I get? Revelations. I'm gonna get Revelation chapter 14, verse 8. And there followed another angel. Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nation drink of her wine of the wrath of her fornication. You know? And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of divination. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. In the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast, nor night who worship in his image, whosoever receiveth his mark of his hand. Here is the patience of the saints, they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai, and heard a voice from heaven saying unto, right, blessed are the dead which died in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and no works do follow them. So you're gonna be tested. We're gonna be testing that day also. So we're not even there yet. The RFID chip with the beast. That temptation. But I want to get into the what should I start at? I'm gonna get the cooperation. Corporations feared being blacklisted in the U.S. more than they feared losing a share in the Iranian market. European efforts to insulate its companies from sanctions have so far proved flimsy. Tehran's initial response to Trump's effort to destroy the deal was tragic. It is strategic patience relying on the rest of the world to keep its economy afloat. Iran hoped that Beijing at least would defy the U.S. and continue to buy its oil when the U.S. ended sanction exemptions for the last handful of Iran's remaining customer on 2 May, on 2nd May, the May, uh, on 2nd May, May the 2nd. So far that has not happened. Now Beijing is nervous about derailing delicate trade talks with Washington and Chinese imports have dipped. Russia has voiced support for Iran but is not an oil customer and carries little weight in the global economy. So Russia is supporting Iran, and Iran wants Europe and China on board with them. So Russia is trying to get. So basically, Russia and Iran is trying to get China and Europe. See, everybody's trying to leave America. The whole world is against this country. You know, like Esau may have a great country. It may have a great military, but you can't outwin a military of other nations. China got thousands. That's a large country. It's not even a. I think it's a continent. No, but put them all together, and that's one big nation. If you put their armies together, they have a huge army. America can't stop like four big nations. America just can't do it. I don't see that happening. America may have a good military, but it's not good enough to stop four nations from intruding or infiltrating this country. For the Europeans, the Chinese, and the Russians, the nuclear deal has been a priority, but it's not been in the top three priorities. It's been a sacrificial lamb, said Ellie. I'm just gonna write Ellie. Senior policy fellow at the European Council on Foreign Relations. By raising the stakes, Iran has challenged Europe and China to wean themselves off dependence on the dollar for both a long-term aspiration. Iran has now given them 60 days to take significant strides or face a potentially severe new crisis in the Middle East. The initial two steps announced by President Hassan Rouhani are at the very low ends of the scale of available measures. Iran will stop exporting low-enriched uranium and heavy water, which has kept its stockpiles above under the level set by the 2015 deal. For the time being, these steps will have a negligible impact on the central purpose of the agreement, keeping Iran at least a year away from capability to make a nuclear warhead. The actual LEU stockpile has settled below the agreed 660 weight limit, and heavy water has no immediate use as Iran currently has no functioning heavy water reactor or processing plant necessary to make plutonium. The U.S. announced last week that it would begin sanctioning trade in both material and making it hard for Iran to keep to the agreed limits by limiting its initial steps to these two measures. Tehran has ensured that the blame resides almost entirely in Washington. Esau is just a punk. Honestly, he can't even play fair. It's like me playing chess and taking away your pawns and you, oh wait, look, your defense is now I can get to take your pieces. It's like Esau just unfairly just does this. Like, how do you America put sanctions on everybody? It's like going in a boxing match and telling somebody you can't fight with your hands and you have to tie them behind your back. It's not fair. Esau's just a coward. Like, you got a sanction and everything. America terrorized everybody. Let like a sanction happen to America. I don't think this country ever had been sanctioned ever. Esau is a punk. Donald Trump. No. Even before that, Donald Trump, there was always been sanctions. I bet. Esau just like sanctioning people because he's afraid what's gonna happen. He knows America's gonna be destroyed. That's why they don't want to make nuclear missiles. That's why. Mm. Let me just, Oh, I just wrote Europe to it. Look, Europe alone. EU crisis, anti-Macron alliance kills off. If Trump wants to take on China, he needs allies. Trump is an idiot, bro. He's gonna get America. He's the one. He's the one that when the economy collapses, he's gonna be the one in office. And he should start with Europe. But they've been trusted allies for so long, America and Europe. But Donald Trump, his ego, his inflated ego, won't allow him to see past his. I don't know. I don't know what he sees himself as, but he thinks he's just the best thing on like that can deal with anything on his own. So I'm just gonna read this article. Berlin with the prospect of a trade deal between China and the United States all but dead. The Trump administration is no doubt weighing its next steps in its quest to rein in Beijing's rise. President Trump should try something he hasn't yet, called Europe. Just 5 years ago, such a suggestion would have raised eyebrows. Europe's relationship with China has traditionally been one of the close economic corporations, especially for an export-led country like Germany, to the extent that Europeans saw political and security challenges in working with China. They kept faith that growing economic ties with the West would temper the country's worst instincts. But they kept that growing economy ties with West would temper the country's growing instincts. Over the last months, though Germany, along with several other Europeans, have experienced a strategic awakening, Germany policymakers, along with industry leaders, have become much more vocal about China's predatory, predatory trade practices, in particular forced technology transfer. They have begun to refer to China as a systematic competitor, so has the European Union. They should make the countries of Europe, historically among the Americas' closest allies, well placed to work with Washington to confront China over trade as destabilizing policies and authoritarian political model is promoted around the world. Instead, Europe and United States are consumed by cyclic arguments over, to name just a few issues, military spending, trade imbalances, and Iran nuclear deal. That decided Chinese want there's two sides of the Atlantic to be distracted and divided. Esau was scared of nuclear missile. After America bombed almost every country in the Middle East and in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, in Japan, now Esau was afraid. You start trouble, and when it happens to you, you want to ban everybody. Why don't you face it? But Esau's not. He's a coward. He thinks nothing is his fault. He hasn't. Esau always blames stuff on Jake. It's ridiculous. On the subject of China, Europeans feel like they have been neglected to observer status. Trump administration officials have made few efforts either to brief allies on their China policy or to propose anything like unified transatlantic strategy. When Trump administration has engaged Europe or on China, such discussions tend to focus on tightening investment screening, preventing China telecommunication provider Hawaii from constructing 5G networks. Those two important issues merit transatlantic constellations, but the Trump administration approach, which includes threatening to limit intelligence sharing with any eye that proceeds to build its next generation of mobile infrastructure with Hawaii, is a losing strategy. Europeans are tired of taking orders from Mr. Trump's America, which makes them more inclined to ignore American directives on issues like Hui. So even Europe is getting tired of listening to America, and Trump, yeah, no, it's not even it's just tired of listening to Trump. Actually, Donald Trump himself is just annoying. No one wants to deal with him. He's a joke. The president should start over. The United States and Europe need to come to the table as actual partners and begin as much broader dialogue about China's political and economic and technological ambitions. At the very minimum, the two sides of the Atlantic should be sharing insights on everything from Chinese influence operations to human rights abuses to investments in artificial intelligence. Human rights abuse. Esau starts the most wars just because you don't listen to his laws, but he wants to get and talk about what insights on everything from Chinese influence operation to human rights abuse. They focus on China so much, and China may do this, but you can't be a hypocrite and do it also. You know, Esau just he one step in, one step out. You know, Esau wants to like get China for this, but yet Esau's doing it the same thing. It doesn't even make any sense. He's a hypocrite. Human rights abuses. Yeah, that's Esau. Human rights abuses. You know, he goes over to other countries and then impress them. That's what Esau does. Then he wants to complain about other countries doing it. You can't complain when you're doing the same thing, hypocrite. You know. And other disruptive technologies. More ambitiously, the United States and Europe should aim to fortify their trade relationship, coordinated American and European policies on China and human rights abuses, and create alternatives to China's Belt and Road Initiative. You know, America. Not everybody's tired of America. You know, everybody's tired of this. I'm gonna get it on Obadiah. Right, no, that's NIV. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, concerning you. We have heard the rumor of the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art despised. You know, Esau is small among the heathen. He had no heritage, no resting place. He had the mountains. You know, the Lord gave away his old heritage to the dragons, he has nothing. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. You know, Esau has pride like through the roof. About anything. He always thinks he's on top. Like, it's annoying. You know? Has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's Esau. Donald Trump thinks that America can do it all alone. You can't, you know, the world is it's bigger than just you, you know? Who saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. No, that's not where. That's not. That's why does it pop this up? I said Donald Trump, not this. I didn't. Oh, never mind. Not what I wanted to get. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how thou cut off? Would they have not stolen until they had? You know, that's Esau. He doesn't steal a little. No, Esau didn't steal America, like the California part, Massachusetts, not New York or Minnesota. No, not now. He took the whole everything. If the gate came to thee, will they not at least some gleaning grapes, some grapes? How are things that how are hidden things sought up? You know, Esau don't steal one thing. Still, he don't till he still till he had enough. No, he steals everything. No, he'll steal your house and say that you have to. You know, we're building up. We're making a mall here. You gotta shut it down. You gotta shut down. You gotta move out. And you've been living there probably like 40 years, your whole life, and you gotta leave now because Esau saying you have to. You devil. You know, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. You know, Esau is an idiot. You know, Donald Trump. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You know, Esau has no understanding. You know, he's getting tricked. He's getting duped. You know, he's getting played. Every word there is. You know, he's a fool. You know, he thinks somebody's with him. No one's with Donald Trump. Nobody really likes him. Not not Europe, not China, Iran. You know, we already know they don't. But Europe used to been allies with are still kinda, I guess. You know, secretly, I bet Europe don't even like China. I mean, not China, America either, bro. Lucky. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understand out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed to the end, that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Esau, you know, violent against his brother Jacob, you know, us, you know, for thousands of years. Esau's mad because he can't get his birthright back, you know, and you know, it's by the hand of the Lord why we have it, and he doesn't, you know. Esau just wasn't fit for the role or the job, you could say. You got people, no, they sign up for jobs. Some may be enrolled, some, you know, or college, right? They check your scores, or they check your class. They check your scores and see how good you did. What's your GPA at? Or they check, or give you another example. Football, you didn't make the cut. You know, you wasn't fast. You didn't know how to catch. You just was terrible altogether, and they didn't want you. Or the basketball team, probably chose LeBron James over to some other average person. You know, think of it like, you know, the Lord didn't want Esau to be have his birthright because it wasn't for him. It was for Jacob, and you know, and he knew Jacob was fit for it. You know, Israel. That was his name, Israel. And he knew Jacob was fit for the role of being the king of you know, the nations. You know, over the nations. Esau, if Esau wasn't rulership, you know, he'll show no mercy. He would just be a devil and a tyrant his entire life, and no one would have rest ever. So that, you know, praise the Lord that the Lord didn't give his birthright to Esau. Esau's a devil. He's a demon. He'll find a way to fight with anybody, anyways. Even if, you know, he already finds a way to fight with people now that are not even Israelites. He fight Moab, Ishmael, Elam. You know, they're not even Israelites. He'll still bother them. So just imagine that. Imagine you know. Just Esau just likes to fuck with things. You know, he kills. He's experiment on animals. You know. But I'm gonna keep going down. In that day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners into his gates, and cast loss upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of the destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Hell, you know. I'm gonna get animal expense in Australia, cause you know Esau just animal testing. Australia needs to catch up on better ways to do research. You know Esau just likes to like bother. Esau doesn't know peace, and that goes for anything on the board. That goes to plants, to trees, to animals, to people. You know, Esau just doesn't know how to not bother stuff. Like, It is like he's like a child who doesn't know how to stop touching stuff in your house. And you always gotta, you always gotta tell, just like a child, like a baby. Just keep touching stuff and bothering. Like, he's doing too much. He just can't sit down and just go settle somewhere. All this money Esau has, and he just keep messing with stuff. Like, there's cures for cancer. There's herbs that the scripture speaks about these plants that you eat that helps. Herbs. As good as meat. Which means good for eating. But Esau just likes to do stuff. He no, he just stop. Esau just a dang. It's like do animal testing on. We should do animal testing on you. You're a cave beast. It gets like infuriating sometimes. Thinking of Esau doing these things all the time. But I want to get this article talking about animation. In March this year, Australia passed legislation that prevents the testing of some types of cosmetic ingredients on animals, starting in July 2020. Now, the Minister for Agriculture promised at the time to development of and uptake of new methods to replace animal use and safety testing required by the government. She also acknowledged the general international trend away from reliance on animal testing to determine safety and effectiveness of chemicals and medicines. I doubt back in the ancient times there was cancer or high blood pressure. I bet if you had a good diet and ate the things you need, there would be nothing to worry about. Esau doing all this extras of making medicines is not needed. He just wants to do stuff. He just trying to make vaccines and kill people. He's more probably trying to make diseases. Probably, he ain't trying to make no cures. There are cures. The Lord speaks about them. And Esau ain't one of them. He's a harbinger of death. I'm gonna get that. Wait, you know what? Each year, more than 115 million animals are used worldwide for researching, testing, and training, and 9 million animals were used in Australia in 2016 alone. For a long time, the public has considered animal testing a necessary evil. No, you're just a demon. You're just a wicked. You're necessary evil. No, you're the devil. But more people question the ethics of this approach. At the same time, scientists who use animal increasingly problem with animal research is costly, time consuming, not very effective. So what is the point of even doing it? It is costly, time consuming, not very effective. So why are you still doing it? Esau, bro, he wastes his time just killing stuff. You just sit in the lab and you poke stuff, and you torment them, and it's not effective. So you're doing it basically out of nothing, for no apparent reason. Let me get a scripture. These are just the devil. Nothing better to do with his time. Nothing. Like you think can't go on vacation. Can't. All this money you have. This is your kingdom. This is how you want to spend it. Oh, I said KKV, KJV. No. Oh man. I'm sorry for Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. I'm gonna start off from 1. And when I started off 6 verse 1, I saw I saw the lamb open one of the seals, and I heard as it was the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. He went conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on peace from the earth, and that should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Who was that great sword talking about? Esau. Esau, it was that red horse that took peace from the earth, who kills for no reason, no purpose, just to do it. Was his blessing, was the sword. And what is the sword used for? Killing. You know? Esau just doesn't know how to. He can't. That's fair. That's what he wanted. He wanted a blessing so bad he started crying about it. He got it. something. Now he just uses it on everybody. Abuse of power. Talk about abuse of power. Look at Esau. Now that's a good example. Wait, now where am I? I gotta go back down. Okay. Aspirin. For example, aspirin was patient in 1900. It is safe for humans, but it would not be possible to market aspirin in the current methods criteria for safety because it causes effects in mice, rats, guinea pigs, rabbits, cats, dogs, sheep, and monkeys. I don't think you should take it. Most of the animals are not close. They're not even related either. You can't even compare a dog to a mouse, and they have birth defects. And we, just the fact that animals are just completely different every way possible, from pigs to monkeys to guinea pigs. So imagine when a person takes it. They get addicted to this type of stuff. The use of animals in biomedical science is outdated and unnecessary. Human relevant methods that offer more effective and ethical approach are available. Broadly, these include vitro methods, test tube experiments performed with microorganism tissues, whole cells or parts of cells, in silico computer-based studies with human volunteers. Human volunteers, more like kidnapping than trafficking. That's Esau. This is Esau's professional way, 21st century words of trying to because it tells you in the scriptures, war was moved as butter, but war was in his heart. Looked up methods, was studied with human volunteers. No, he kidnapped them, threw them in a white van, and he brought them to a lab and tormented these people. Esau's the devil. He's gonna lie and say human volunteer. No, who would volunteer for this? Who? It's crazy. It's kind of funny because Esau, your lies, man. No one believes them. You don't have no human volunteers. You kidnap people. You human traffic them. You know. You make harlots out of women. You sex trafficking women. In the nation of Israel. You human traffic. You torment them. You sacrifice them. Hollywood. Now you talking about human volunteers. You don't got no human volunteers. Devil. He's torment. He talking about these methods. He got test tubes for microorganisms and cells or parts or whatever, and he got human volunteer methods with computer-based methods, studies with human volunteers, and simulators based on virtual reality or physical models. A simplified version of a human organ are a good example of new vitro approaches. They are grown in vitro in three dimensions, allow research to study disease and treatments in the laboratory. An organoid grown from the biopsy individual patient can also help predict their response to new or existing drugs. What else? Chemical and biological substances such as newly developed drugs need to be tested to determine whether they are harmful to humans, animals, or the environment. Currently, more than 100,000 chemicals available on the market have never been tested safely, costing $10 to $20 million per product. It takes several years. It is also difficult to obtain safety data for the 1,000 new chemicals created every year. Computer programs and large databases can make testing substances much faster and cheaper without using animal, although data obtained in the past from animals may be used. All this money, millions product. All you need to do is find some herbs, probably in your backyard or the I don't know. There's probably a herbal remedy store somewhere. Esau, but he likes to make stuff complicated. You gotta go to a lab. You gotta break down the plant. Do all this other make some chemicals. You probably put in Lysol spray in your stuff inside your pills. Lysol, who knows, whatever. He says chemicals. So I mean, it takes chemicals to make a pill. So imagine what's in your body. You don't know what's in these chemicals Esau is doing. You know, the word chemical just it's just like just trying to kill you slowly. Because Esau knows what's on the other side. It's peace. When you die. That's why he doesn't want people to die. He wants you to suffer as much as you can before you die. The devil. You know. Let me get one more scripture though. Behold, there's the devil. I'm gonna get Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he's transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. Thinks that he can never be taken down. That's what it's saying. That no military is better than his. And he's gonna be on top. You think Jake we're never gonna get them? We're never gonna get them back for what they did to us. Either keep us at home. He never, what that means is he's always doing something. He's always experimenting on home to other countries, trying to dictate their lives. If they don't like America, they sanction them or bomb them or put in a fake government official that's from their country and pay them off to work for America's schemes. You know, who enlarge his desires hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. What does that mean exactly? Let me get it. Death. Hold on. Fifteen people dead. Um, every second 1.8 humans die. Humans die. 4.2 humans are born. The number of deaths would increase to 2.8. This randomized calling would obviously be a big deal, be responsible for over a third of all deaths, but at least for a while our population will continue to grow. Every second, every second someone's dead. Every second. How many people? And it's I think it's 4.8 people that are born. More born than dying. So that's saying no matter how much something dies, there's always gonna be more to come back. That's saying death it can't take over everything, but it just keeps adding on though. You know, the desire is hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. No, but gather unto all nations, he beth unto all people. Esau tried to have the best of them women from the other nations. You know, um, everybody was trying to be like Esau, wearing them pink shorts with their shirts tucked in, their loafers, them boat shoes I call them, them sweaters tied around their necks. Looking I don't know what, you got Elam trying to dress like him. You got our own people trying to dress like Esau. Why would anybody want to dress like him? He's a loser. We don't. The only thing he got is money. That's the only reason why he has women or friends. Of course, that's the only. This is the reason why other nations deal with him. Esau is strange. He's weird. If it wasn't for money, if Esau didn't make the physical, tangible things the main focus for people, I bet you everybody will figure Esau out in a second. He will not have friends. He will not be talked to. He's strange. He's into he's into bestiality and all that weird stuff. So if Esau didn't make physical, tangible things a main focus or priority for people, people would be more focused on themselves and how to fix themselves and to build up more than to trying to look nice, you know, to wear these suits and all this other stuff. Because you wear a suit doesn't mean you're, going anywhere, Kind of like when you go to college and you just don't, make it there. You just end up homeless, I've seen so many videos like that. But, Esau's going down, he's going to slavery, America's going to be destroyed for the wickedness that's done to our nation and to our people, Esau thinks otherwise, he's a fool, you know. A fool says in his heart, there is no, I'm going to get that. A fool says there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. When the Lord brings back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, Israel shall be glad. So the Lord's coming, going to be rejoice. The Lord's going to bring back the captivity of his people, Jake, us, And also, he's corrupt. He thinks there is no God. He's just carnal. He's a devil. That's what he is. He's a deceiver. That's just his role in his life. He's going to go into slavery for 1,000 years and get burnt up. And no one's going to show him any mercy either. Toss him into a lion den and let him get chased. You got bloodhounds at Jake, let's get some wolves. Let's double it for him. Double onto her as she does onto you. Reward her as she rewarded thee. So we're gonna do onto America. What they done to us. Who's in charge of America? Esau. So we may have to put Esau up against a gorilla. See that gorilla knock him right off his feet. But that's it on that. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honor to Elders Great Millstone, and salutation to all y'all Mahawas and Bawis Big to marriage. Till next time I say Shalom.